Hi there, welcome back. In this lesson, you will learn how to download and install the Oracle database into your computer. First, we need to open up a browser and type in Download Oracle Database. Actually, you can download that database by following the links on the Oracle's homepage, but it is not very efficient in most cases, because I have been teaching how to install the database for so long, and in time I saw that Oracle frequently changed its website layout, and sometimes it can be confusing for the students how to get to the download page. So I recommend you to find it from a search engine like how I will do now. Now let's search this. Now you see the database software downloads link by oracle.com on top of the page. But even if it changes in time, you can find it easily. So let's click on that link. This is the downloads page of Oracle for now. On this page, you will see all the database versions of Oracle starting from the most recent one. Now the most recent one is the database 19c. If you want, you can download the earlier versions as well from here. In this course, we will be using the Oracle Database Release 19c. You need to select one of these products depending on your operating system. Since I'm using Windows 64-bit operating system, now I will download Microsoft Windows 64-bit version. If you are using a different operating system, you need to download the correct software based on your operating system. Otherwise, you will fail on installing. If you have a 32-bit computer, or in case you are a Mac user, as you know, there is no installation file of the Oracle database. But don't worry, to get around this, I've prepared alternative options like the VirtualBox or LiveSQL to have the database. So now I want to explain to you something here. As you might know, there are different types of the Oracle database, which are Express Edition, Standard Edition, and Enterprise Edition. You will see that the Express Edition is the simplest database, the Standard Edition is a more capable database, while the Enterprise Edition is the most capable and full-featured database. You will most likely see the Enterprise Edition in the company you work in. If you download the Express Edition, it will be easier and less problematic, and you can use this version for MySQL and PL/SQL courses confidently. But if you want to tune your queries, it will not work for SQL tuning, because this database is a lightweight database and has so many restrictions. Besides, it will work slowly. But since you will use it as a test database, it will work fine for you. Also, since this version is totally free, you can use the Express Edition for your commercial purposes as well. I mean, if you're a startup, you can use the Express Edition for your company. But you should know that it has so many limitations. The standard editions are more comprehensive and capable than the Express editions. You can use this for MySQL and PL/SQL courses confidently as well. The Enterprise editions are the ones you will most likely use while working in a company. It is the most capable database of Oracle, and you can use it for any of the courses including Oracle SQL. But you cannot use the Standard Edition and the Enterprise Edition for commercial use. It is illegal. But bear in mind that all of them are free for personal use. So I will use the Enterprise Edition in my courses, but you can use any others if you want to, depending on your needs. Alright, what you need to do is just click on the zip link or the icon here just below the download column. You will see a pop-up to accept the license agreement. Actually, this page or the previous one can change in time as well, but no problem, I'm sure you will easily download the database even in that case. Because the hard part of the installation is not the download section. You can do that easily. It will most likely be similar. Alright, now you need to click on the checkbox here, just next to the license agreement text, and click on the download button here. Now you will face a sign-in page. If you already have an Oracle account, you can sign in using this account. Once signed in, the download will automatically start. But if you don't have an account, you can create an account by clicking on the Create Account button for free. If you click on that button, you will be redirected to another page. You can create your Oracle account from that page, and it is for free. As you know, the Oracle database is a free database for personal use. Perfect. After you sign into that page, the download will start. I've already downloaded it before to save some time, so I will skip that step. Now just pause the video here and download the database. Once you complete the download, continue watching from here. Alright, if you are watching here, that means you have successfully completed the database download. You need to stop the video on each step that I will do and do that by yourself. Just follow the video very carefully. If you miss even a single step, that may lead to some errors and it will be very hard to resolve it. Before explaining how to install the database, I need to tell you something. There are many different ways to install the Oracle database, but I will show you the easiest and the simplest way of the database installation. Because I know that most of you are pretty new to the database installation and you will use this only for training purposes. So there is no need to confuse you with a detailed installation. Now, I moved the downloaded zip file into my desktop. Now we will right click on it and select Extract to the file name. I've already extracted and dragged it here to save some time. So now pause the video and extract the zip file. And do not delete the zip file for now, because if you have any error, you may need to extract it again. Perfect. As you extracted the file, now there is something important here. In the previous releases of the Oracle database, like 12c, 11g, etc., the setup was copying the whole files into a pre-specified folder automatically by Oracle. However, in the database 19c that we will install now, the executable files reside inside of that folder. So the database will need to use this folder after you install it. Because of that, I recommend you to move this folder to somewhere safe. Because most likely you will not want to have this folder on your desktop. If you delete that, it will not work. So what I will do is, I will cut this folder and open up the C drive, because I don't have a D drive. If you have, you can paste it into the D drive as well. It's up to you. Since it will create some new folders, I recommend you to create a new folder here, so that they will be inside this folder altogether. Let's create it then. And let's name it with Oracle App, for example. Be sure that you did not use any special character or any space here. Otherwise, you will have problems. Alright, now let's paste the installation folder into that folder. So now let's open it. At the bottom of that folder, you will see the setup.exe file. Just double click on it. By the way, I need to say something important here. If you have any problems in that step, I mean if the installation doesn't start, such as it disappears immediately, etc., it is mostly because the name of your PC has some invalid characters or spaces, etc., that Oracle doesn't accept. Or maybe there is a space or invalid character in the path of the setup file. This is also an important point that you need to be careful about. I mean, the folder you created may contain invalid characters. If such a thing happens, what you need to do is check the folder you created first and give another name without any space or special character. If it doesn't work anyway, you will need to change the name of your PC. Perfect. Now you see the database installer window. There are two options here. We will select Create and configure a single instance database option here. If you have an earlier version of the database installed and could not delete it properly, you can see another window saying Invalid entry in the central inventory corresponding to Oracle Home here. If you see such a window, just click on Yes and continue. In this window, you will see two options. Since we will use it on our PC, we will select the desktop option and click on Next. By the way, I need to remind you that this installation is not for the DBAs. This is just for personal training. Alright, there are four options here. Since the database installation is a DBA job and you don't need to know the details, I will just show you what you need to do in order not to confuse you. So here we will select the Windows built-in account and click on Next. As you can see, the installer showed me a new prompt window to warn me about the account. It wants us to create a new user for the Oracle database and limit its privileges. Since we will use this database for personal use and training, I basically selected Windows built-in account to have an unlimited control over my database. So I simply click on Yes and continue. The first text area, which is the Oracle base here, means where your database will be installed. Normally, it should show the folder where you just started the database installation. If it points to somewhere else like your desktop, etc., I recommend you to change it. You can do that by pressing on the Browse button. Here, be sure that you do not change the database file location, database edition, and character sets. Alright, as you remember from the previous lecture, now Oracle has one container database which can hold several pluggable databases. So here, the global database name is the name of the container database. It will be ORCL by default. I recommend you not to change it to be able to follow the instructions easier if you have any problems now or in the future. However, if you installed the database before and could not uninstall it properly, you will not be able to use this name if it was the name of the previous database. So in this case, you need to specify another name to the container database here. And here you specify the pluggable database name. If you don't change anything, it will be ORCL PDB by default. ORCL is the name of the container database, and PDB is the abbreviation of the pluggable database. I recommend you not to change that name as well. But when you first run the database software, the pluggable database will not be accessible and the user HR will be locked. In the upcoming lecture, you will learn how to start the pluggable database and unlock the HR user. So if you don't change these names, you will be able to use the codes that I will share in the next lecture without any problem. This is why I want you not to change these names. However, if you somehow needed to change these names, please save these names somewhere since you will need them in the next lecture. Now, we need to specify a password for the system and SYS users. You will need to use these users sometimes in the further lectures. So I recommend you to specify a password that you can remember easily. So I write 123 for the password and for the confirm password areas. Actually, I recommend you to type 123 too, because if you forget it somehow, you can see the password from the installation video again. We will just leave the Create as Container Database option checked and will not change the pluggable database name in order to use the commands in the further lectures without any problem. As I told you, you don't need to know all the details of how to install the Oracle database, because this is the database administrator's job. We are just trying to install this software to be able to use in our personal computer for training purpose. Now, I will click on the next button, but before that I want to remind you something. If you have installed another database with the same name, you may have an error about the global database name. I selected it as ORCL here. If you have any problem with that name, just change it with something else like ORCL2 for example. Because that means you have another database instance with the same name, and if so, I recommend you to uninstall the previous one first, and if you cannot uninstall it, no problem, you can install the new one too. You can have several databases running at the same time, even if this is something that we don't require. Now, let's just click on the next button here. The new window says that our password does not conform to the Oracle recommended standards. But this is not important because this will be a test database and password security is not important for our case. So I will click on yes and wait for some time. Now, what you're gonna do here is just click on the install button here. While the software is being installed, do not cancel it. It may take some time and sometimes it seems like it freezes. But do not hurry up. Wait a little more, it will continue. Depending on your PC specs, it can take more than 20 minutes to finish the installation. Throughout the installation, if you see any Windows Security Alert window, simply click on the Allow Access button and keep waiting. So now I will pause the video again because this will take some time. I will continue when something important appears. Alright, after a long wait, we reached to the endpoint. Now you will just click on the close button. If you have successfully followed all the steps with me, you should now have a full running database on your computer. Now what you need to do is open the pluggable database and unlock the HR user. You will see how to do that in the following lecture. So this is the end of how to download and install the Oracle Database lecture. See you in the next lesson.